Hello everyone. In this portfolio video, I will reflect on the process of creating my Poetry in Place project. I started from choosing my poems. I had recently read a lot of mid-20th century Estonian poetry and decided to choose from them. And I chose these two, mostly because they were just very beautiful and also easy to translate to English, which was particularly important to me in this case. Both poems were written when Estonia was occupied by the Soviet Union, hence the melancholic tone, and because of the specific tone, I decided to connect them to the Chapel Hill Cemetery, and precisely to the African American sector. And yeah, I wanted to nevertheless reference Estonia in my narration, and so I made some cultural connections between Estonia and the US in my script. And I started with writing my script, making sure it is both personal and at times academic. I wanted people to enjoy it, experience it, and also learn from it. I decided to layer the Estonian and the English translations of the poems to maintain its essential feel. I think that worked out well for me, and it made the Estonian original more quiet to make sure people understood the English words as well. But maintaining the Estonian version audible was very important to me because I wanted people to hear the original words spoken. I will just quickly play these for you so you know what I mean.
When I am no longer, bearded old men with wings will make their nests in my hair. My legs will become roots and drink water from the earth. My arms will bloom, and from those blossom bees will collect honey. That will take my forgotten dreams to my children. Every night the shadows come and speak. What? But they come, always. And always they have something to say.
As I wrote up my script, I also wrote down possibilities for sound effects, but I searched for the sound effects only after finishing my first draft of the script. I think it worked for me because I viewed the sound effects as sort of background noise, but I wanted them to help communicate the piece, but I didn't want them to dominate over the narrative. I used an audio software called Audacity to compose my podcasts, and I had never used any sort of audio software before, so initially it seemed slightly intimidating. However, Audacity is very easy to use once you know the general gist of it. My biggest challenge in this project was probably keeping track of all the sound effects I used, because I used a lot and they piled up quite a lot on Audacity as I was composing it. Furthermore, I decided to re-record my narrative after revising my script, and for this I used a proper microphone to make the narrative sound especially good. Truth be told, I recorded it 3 times actually. During the second recording, I had a very, very bad cold, so my voice sounded quite horrible. But after I recovered, I re-recorded it once more, and together with the good microphone, I think my final narrative ended up sounding very good. I didn't actually change too much in the script. I simply made some sentences sound better, tightened it up a tiny bit, and I didn't change too much in terms of sound effects either, because on my first draft, I worked on them for a long time, making sure they're in the right place, and then that they carry some sort of weight and they have an effect, which I was very satisfied with it, so I didn't want to mess it up. This project taught me a lot about composing audio works, and how without these background sound effects that help to carry the meaning of the piece, it's not really the same, and they help to highlight the experience and the feel of the piece. And although it was quite a long process, I enjoyed working on this project a lot, especially when finally hearing my very final revision in the place where it is set, in the Chapel Hill Cemetery in the African American sector. and I believe it was very, very powerful, and I was just satisfied with it. Thank you for watching.